Extreme travelers are on a unique expedition into one of the most remote rainforests on Earth. Their goal? To contact and live with the remarkable Kumbai tribe, a people whose way of life has barely changed since the Stone Age. Mark Anstis and Ollie Steeds will live as hunter-gatherers exactly like the Kumbai do. It'll be total immersion in a totally different world. It's never been done before, so how far will they go?
I'm dreading the small rodents, or basically the animals, because there's quite a lot of an animal that I really don't like eating, like the trotters or the brains.
There are now only about 4,000 Kumbai left. They live isolated from the rest of the world in the tropical rainforests of West Papua. They share precarious tree houses and use no modern tools or even clothing. Over the next few months, if they're to survive here, these back-to-basics travelers will face some of the toughest challenges of their lives.
I was very lucky that my leg just didn't get snapped.
Eventually, they'll take part in one of the biggest Kumbai festivals ever thrown. But will it be enough to make them truly Kumbai? In this first program, Mark and Ollie's mission is to find a Kumbai settlement and then somehow move in with them.
I feel so lucky to have this kind of opportunity to come into a place like this and try and learn about the people that we're going to meet, and also, I guess, learn a little bit about ourselves and our own way of life, because we're going to be throwing every single thing away if we can manage it. Got to do it. Got to do it. And I honestly don't really know how I'm going to react here.
The Kumbai's unique culture makes them undisputed masters of jungle survival.
6 years ago, I planned to cross this island via the unclimbed face of a mountain. And myself and a friend, we did the mountain, but we were so knackered at the top that we really couldn't go on anymore. And one of the reasons we couldn't really go on was because we didn't have the necessary skills to find food and move. And so I know at the end of this, if all goes to plan, I'm going to have jungle skills second to none.
For Mark, it's survival. For Ollie, it's culture. Together, do these two very different men have what it takes to prise open the storehouse of ancient Kumbai knowledge? Mark Anstis is a seasoned traveler. He's been on numerous expeditions, including several trips to West Papua. He's a natural at all things practical. And he's writing an outdoors activities manual. If anyone can make this work, it should be Mark.
Yes, I think we should tell what's this story.
Ollie Steeds has already made his name as a TV news journalist.
We've got President Mahmoud Abbas.
Inspired by an expedition to walk the Gobi Desert, he's also set up a network to encourage interest in the world's most unusual cultures. He's a great lover of British food. Will he cope without it? The expedition begins inside this tiny charter plane as it struggles to clear West Papua's highest mountain range and descends towards a vast sea of green. Mark and Ollie are heading for Yanaruma, a remote airstrip surrounded by 115,000 square miles of dense jungle.
I feel totally dwarfed by the immensity of the rainforest. Signs of human habitation are few and very far between. It's not the kind of place I want to get lost in. Mark's been to West Papua before, so I hope he isn't as daunted as I am by the idea of marching off into this vast unknown.
Yanaruma. It's 6 years since I was last here. There are no cars, no banks, and no phones. But it's the final outpost of civilization. The last place we're likely to see people wearing clothes. Suddenly, it dawns on me how excited I am to be taking this on.
Here we are. No way out now. Is there any way to get him back? I've forgotten something.
The expedition guide is Bob Peligi.
Ollie. Hi. Nice to meet you.
For over 20 years, he's been one of the very few to venture into Kombai territory.
Bob, do you think we can live like the Kombai do?
Oh, yes. But they said like 3,000 years ago, you mean?
You think we'll cope?
Yeah. You can.
Us soft Westerners.
First couple of weeks, of course, very hard life.
Tough, yeah.
Very tough.
Bob, it's 10:30. Let's chip out. Let's get some porters going.
So we can get this. Oke, adik, siapa yang mau bawa barang ini bisa sudah? Angkat ini. Mari lihat dulu, mana yang berat, mana yang ringan ini. Coba.
Mark and Ollie have asked Bob to find a Kombai family who can teach them how to live off the land like they do. He's heard of a settlement that epitomizes everything about the Kombai way of life, which is similar to the way their ancestors lived 30,000 years ago. Bob reckons they should get there after 3 or 4 days of very tough trekking.
I know absolutely nothing about the jungle. Suddenly, poof, you're in a totally alien, wild world. Mark and I are very different beings. I mean, he's very experienced in endurance activities like this one. I couldn't possibly think of anyone I'd rather be doing this with than Mark.
Jungle is the sort of place I have a slight love-hate relationship with. Every time I leave the jungle, I think that's the last time. I'm never going back to that nightmare. But then, yeah, you always forget the bad times, and I love it here, actually. Ollie and I don't actually know each other that well. We've done a lot of planning of expeditions together, but we've never actually managed to pull one off. I think he's going into this whole experience with a very open mind.
Wrap your toes around it.
He's taking everything in his stride.
The Kombai are said to be ferociously territorial, so we're relying on Bob's local knowledge to stop us from straying into danger.
Where have we got to go? We've got to go upstream.
Way upstream.
How are we going to get up there?
You go in canoe.
Canoes?
Yes.
We're going to get in this canoe. It looks a little wobbly. I've got the balance of a drunk priest.
I'm kind of wary because we don't know who owns which stretch of the river, but the tranquility is amazing. Already it's the very opposite of my life back in the West. No traffic noise, no crowds, nothing. Just us and the jungle.
Grounded because Mark is a fat bastard.
Ollie, your belly.
With an arrow shooting just over their heads, Mark and Ollie are in trouble, but there's worse to come. Mark Anstis and Ollie Steeds are on an expedition to try and live with West Papua's Kombai tribe. Unfortunately, they've run into a problem.
I've no idea what's going on, but there's this guy here with a bow and arrow pointing at us.
Before we get a chance to even talk to this guy, he's vanished. Neither Bob nor our head porters were expecting to meet any Kombai quite so soon.
We crossed a territory line there, this river.
Clearly, we need to find out what we did wrong.
Have an arrow fired over your head. Doesn't matter how much you've heard about it before, it's still quite a jolt to the system.
Certainly not the kind of greeting you're used to down the pub in England, although, you know, the English aren't that hospitable, but it's even a little bit more hospitable than this guy was.
He hasn't come back yet. I imagine he will. We're going to have to camp here. Yeah, it did take me by surprise. I wasn't expecting that at all.
I don't know where he's gone, and have no idea if he's got some mates coming after us as well. So anyway, one step at a time.
Not good. We nervously strike camp. Bob reckons we're still a day's hike from our destination, a Kombai settlement that he believes has a whole community of men, women and children. Trouble is, to get there we're going to have to pass straight through this warrior's territory.
Next morning, and the party hacked deeper into the swampy undergrowth for 5 hours. There's no sign of human existence until they stumble upon the jungle equivalent of a freeway.
There's a guy up there who was shooting this yesterday, and he's got his bow and arrow pointing down at us.
Our first encounter with a whole group of Kombai, and it's not going well. All we want to do is hike through these warriors' territory, but they speak nothing but their own language. And our translators seem to be floundering.
He told that they hit us, he will get big problem.
If we can't find out what the protocol is, we're going to be in real trouble. Can we give something to them now to sort of move it on a step further?
Kita bisa masuk di dalam, Bapak tanya Bapak Kombai. Okay.
Well, it seems like we've been invited inside for the moment.
We were very afraid.
In the line.
Takut sekali.
There aren't any ATMs around here, but tobacco, we're told, is a form of currency I'll consider accepting. The aggression disappears in a puff of smoke, and the payment works.
I think we're done here.
We discover that in Kombai language, the word Pura Rambo means hello, great, and most importantly also, thank you.
If they wanted to shoot us and kill us, they no doubt could have done. But no, it seems that it was all smiles now, so it's all good.
We know the score now, but we'll get it right by ourselves next time. Well, we'll have to. Otherwise, we could really upset quite a few people. And with bows and arrows, that's not good.
You can just see here, the house up there. Doesn't seem to be anyone in it.
Looks like this is the place Bob's heard about. Nice spot.
That's beautiful.
Really good spot. It'd be great if we can stay here.
Oh, be perfect.
We just got to persuade them.
Well, we're kind of trespassing at the moment. We're just trying to work out whether we stay here or we go and to introduce ourselves down there. But Bob, what do you reckon?
Well, we wait until the host they come.
Yeah, I think stay
Because
here.
otherwise you get kind of unfriendly greetings, with the arrows or something.
Okay.
I think stay here.
God, you're here. See some people coming through there. Pura Rambo!
You got an arrow pointed at us. We go forward with some tobacco.
No, one here.
Rambo Ibu. Wanyak.
We'll keep smiling.
Rambo. 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 Rambo.
Pura Rambo.
It's an awkward first meeting, but they do seem like the ideal people to try and stay with. Unlike the previous group, there's a complete family unit. Men, women and children. And the odd strange animal.
Bororambo? Bororambo. Bob, what do you think we should do next?
I'm going to roll a cigarette and offer it round.
Gently.
yeah.
With the gift offered, it's time to gamble everything and ask the big question. How I hope they don't reject us. Ollie and I, we know nothing about the forest. We don't know how to hunt, we don't know what to eat, we don't know how to live. And we are looking for someone to teach us. And we want to learn from the best.
Ini Bapak Mark dengar bahwa orang Kombai adalah orang yang paling terbaik di dunia.
Bob explains their request, but it sparks off an intense family conference. In a moment, find out what the Kumbai's decision is and who thinks these giant maggots taste delicious. Ollie Steeds and Mark Anstis are waiting to find out if the Kumbai tribe of West Papua will agree to show them how to survive in the jungle.
We are looking for someone to teach us.
What did they say?
The family here, Royal Fano, they say that it's no problem. They can, no problem.
They can?
They can teach you.
Great. Thank you. Bororambo. So what kind of things can they teach us?
Rambo. And maybe later they can help us to find Kombai wives.
The ice broken, we slip out before they change their minds. We're anxious not to offend them, so we're camping out on the edge of their clearing. After all, it's not like they invited us here.
As a first step into the unknown, it was so reassuring that after a few smiles and a bit of conversation, we can both start to understand each other, and within 5-10 minutes we were both laughing.
The settlement is made up of 2 families. We don't know who's related to whom yet, but it looks like there are 3 generations. Key decision maker and the family head is Bayo. He's a man of few words, leaving most of the talking to his number 2. Klua appears to be more curious about us. He's obviously got a sense of humour, and I'm looking forward to getting to know him.
The first thing anyone notices about Kumbai men is what they wear. These bizarre penis cords are hollowed out from dried fruit. The question is, what are they for?
It's our first day out with the family, and they're about to show us one of the ways they get hold of food. Hunting rats with dogs. With no supermarkets around, food is a hardcore daily grind, and it's the women who appear to do most of the grinding. There's a possibility that the men decided that we're just not worthy to go hunting with them yet. Dogs have been trained to recognise rodent scent and track it back to the creature's burrows, which the ladies, meanwhile, are decimating. Berna is Bayo's wife. She's only 24 or so, but she's very much the bossiest woman. Her favourite victim is Mappy, who cheerfully copies everything Berna does. And then there's Bomini, whose name, oddly, means spoilt child.
Big fat juicy rat.
Who brings home the most food, the women or the men?
Oh dear, Mark and Ollie are disrupting the hunt.
I dashed after Berna, going as fast as I could. She moves with incredible speed through this stuff. We shot up this hill.
The dog is going to get a beating for not being very good hunting dogs, so...
Ollie and me, you beat us too, Ollie and Eve.
Pay good money for that in England, but for here it's free.
Clearly, Mark and Ollie ruined any chance of a kill, and now they're being summoned to appear before Bayo, the head of the family. These come-by people from West Papua are trying to teach their skills to Westerners Ollie Steeds and Mark Anstis. An entire day hunting rats has ended in failure, and Mark and Ollie have now been summoned by Bayo, the head of the family.
That sounds great. Thank you very much.
Bayo's offer means Mark and Ollie will be living in the center of the settlement. It's the first sign that trust is building. Some minor repairs, and they're ready to move in.
Oh, wow. Look at this. This is brilliant. Landed on our feet here, Ollie.
You certainly have.
Our swanky new apartment has stunning views, but precisely zero mod cons. And to fit in with that, we're gradually going to rid ourselves of everything that portrays our high-tech Western origins.
So this is Mark's list. You can see here all the things he's going to be throwing out. He's obviously brought a lot to the jungle. This is my list. I haven't brought any of the rubbish he's brought.
Each week we're going to fill a bag with things we're discarding, like our pots and pans, knives, and eventually even our clothes.
Shades.
Oh, shades.
Not the shades!
Hi, this is video diary for the day we moved into the treehouse.
Brilliant, 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 brilliant.
We're in a treehouse. Ollie and I have our own treehouse already.
I'm feeling a little bit awkward that we've kind of taken over their ranch.
It's almost falling down, and part of it's really unusable except for storing stuff. It's brilliant, brilliant, brilliant.
Dawn, and the Kombai are setting off to the borders of their 20 square mile territory to gather their staple food, sago. We haven't eaten for ages, so they're going to teach us the process, and after yesterday's rat hunt fiasco, we're determined to pull our weight, which is quite a lot in my case.
Finally, my fantasy has come true. I've become a sago bagwoman.
Roles are strictly defined here. Only men are allowed to chop down the massive sago palm, which they do with a stone axe.
They took our bear's head off.
This seems like an extraordinary sacrifice. A huge tree felled to provide everyone with just 3 or 4 days' starchy food. This all looks a bit unfair to me. The women's job is to turn the fibrous tree trunk into a pulp by pounding away for literally hours, while the men, they just lounge around for the rest of the day.
Very beautiful song. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. Water is added in this wonderful cordless food mixer, and the starch is flushed out of the pulp. I love the ingenious simplicity of this system. The starchy water now runs down to a trough to separate and solidify. Okay, wash it out, yeah. Okay, now we take it home and eat it. And then... Like potato, sago is almost entirely carbohydrate. Unfortunately, it takes the starch so long to solidify that no one's had a bite to eat all day. We were part of the team making this, so we haven't eaten just as they haven't eaten throughout the production process, so we'll be hoping for a share of this at some point.
As the evening draws in, Berner takes sole charge of all the sago, leaving Mark and Ollie with a dilemma.
What do you think we should eat tonight? If we go down there, we're quite likely to have to eat insects and spiders and stuff.
We've got plenty of time for that.
Which I really don't want to, not tonight. I'm so hungry. Luckily for us, Simeon, one of Bayo and Berner's kids, is offering to share his share. Oh, that's sago. Yeah. The tiny lump of sago tastes of absolutely nothing.
I really need a proper meal tomorrow.
Wow.
Oh, Bororambo bear. Bororambo, that's a tremendous honour. God, that's right out of the blue. That's amazing.
Mark and Ollie are about to actually become part of the family, in a ritual that promises to leave a very bad taste in the mouth. Having spent just a week with the Kombai of West Papua, Mark Anstis and Ollie Steeds have just been blown away by a sudden announcement.
Ooh. Wow. Oh, Bororambo bear. Bororambo. That's we're very, very honoured. Very honoured. That's a tremendous honour. God, that's right out of the blue. That's amazing. Bororambo Berna. Bororambo Leonari.
I can't believe it. I mean, we've only been here a few days.
And we can help prepare the festival.
Come-by ceremonies are very rare. It's vital that other tribes attend, and Beo wants all his neighbors to know about the new family members.
Back in the West, a big party means getting the caterers in. Here it means gathering sago grubs. Kombai is equivalent to our oysters or caviar. They're actually giant maggots.
What horrors lie beneath this?
Just arrived at the place where all these sago grubs are going to be. The delicacy for the grand ceremony.
This is the closest the Kombai come to farming. These palms were felled months ago, but instead of pounding up the insides, they left them to rot.
There's the first.
Because rotting sago palms are irresistible to egg-laying capricorn beetles.
This is the beetle. This one survived. He's very smart in his tuxedo.
The rest happens quite naturally, with the eggs maturing into the most enormous grubs I've ever seen.
There's one. They try and bite you. They've got great big pincers.
Oli, woman and girl roll about. Yeah. Oli, one girl now.
We'll get her.
Well,
we should eat it, I think. That's what she's saying.
Money.
Get her. Ah. You got to kill them first.
They love these grubs, but I can't believe quite how repulsive they look. Worse still, for our adoption ceremony, I just know they'll be expecting everyone to gorge out on them.
I was just forbidden from packing up the last of them, and I have a sneaking and horrible suspicion that these are a little picnic, a little reward of the job. Help! It's a sudden explosion of, the innards all over your mouth.
There's no way around it. Oh, damn it. Poor Rambo. Poor Rambo.
Everyone notices our difficulty, even the tribe's shyest man, Leonari. For tomorrow's festival, our biggest problem will be trying to look grateful, even if we're actually about to throw up. But there's something else we're a bit worried about too.
There's an awful lot of sniggering going on, and I have a feeling I know what it is, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I hear Mark's apparently going to have to wear a grass skirt and dance with Mappy.
The family's open-air jacuzzi is a welcome relief after another full day's grafting. Sadly, this will be the last time I use soap, because Chloa's gone and finished the bottle.
The festival will take place tomorrow afternoon, but the ritual begins this evening. The sago grubs have been wrapped in banana leaves and will be steamed in their own juices over hot stones for at least 18 hours.
In our terms, if I was to adopt someone, it's such a massive thing, and to go to the extremes which they're doing and giving us everything, and already they're giving us everything.
If it makes them feel slightly stronger bond with us, then that'll be brilliant as well. So yeah, it's a real treat actually. I'm very honoured.
Yeah, it's going to be a big day tomorrow.
Mark and Ollie are going to be adopted tomorrow. What they don't know now is that one of the tribe has a disturbing confession that would make most people run for their lives. It's the day that Mark Anstis and Ollie Steeds are to be adopted by this family from the Kumbai tribe.
The men prepare their finest bows and arrows for the ceremony, so I'm taking a moment to ask my future uncle, Leonari, about his.
This one looks blunt. Why is it blunt?
The story took me completely by surprise, and I'm suddenly apprehensive about the family. They all seem too kind to be capable of such brutal retribution. I haven't come here to judge, but eventually I do want to understand why they think that's right.
The moment is upon us. We've been brought to the festival longhouse. We're being adopted.
The grubs are ready, but no one can eat until the special guests from the nearby Korowai tribe arrive. It's getting late, and it's looking like the special guests are going to snub the ceremony.
This is a reverse party. It starts though I'm falling asleep, then gradually picks up as people wake up, till by the end it hits crescendo.
The family are too hungry to wait any longer. Disappointed, they swallow their pride and start the ceremony without the guests. After Bayo's wall of leaves is symbolically thrown out, it's time to remove barriers between people. Everyone is expected to eat together.
Oh, yummy! More on there. Is that enough? I think we can't delay it much longer. Ah.
To avoid causing offence, I'm trying hard to imagine these grubs are my favourite food.
Bangers and mash, a nice steak and ale pie.
But Mark's in trouble.
Don't eat me, please. Don't eat me. Oh, no.
This is for my mother, who always used to think I was a fusspot. Gorgeous. This party's just kicking off.
At last, the Korowai guests arrive. But though they only live a few days away, they speak a totally different tongue. There are over 1,000 languages on the island, and so offering extravagant hospitality is the only way to cross the divide.
It seemed like quite an awkward situation, but Sego grubs are a common language, so we've just got to feed them, I think.
The mood lifts, and what's apparent is that quite apart from our adoption, festivals like this are largely about achieving status in front of other clans. Cloa and Bayo are really basking in the prestige this is earning them.
The family are being very welcoming to us, but I'm still uneasy about their violent history and what else I might discover. I'm here to find out, though, and there's no going back now. We're finally part of the family.
I'm totally humbled by everything you've just said. How do you feel the whole...
I don't know what to feel about it. I suppose I feel more of the family now, more part of the family now. I quite like the way we were left to do... In fact, I really like that, actually, the way we were sort of left to get on with it when this lot arrived.
There's still so much we don't know about our new family. Gunari, my new father and the clan elder, is paying us a visit. He wants to tell us about his personal responsibilities to family members.
Next time, Mark and Ollie find out why, in the 21st century, these kindly people still carry out revenge killings.
Okay, he said luckily he's not going to do anything.